So I'm supposed to prepare the nibs for today's, I guess, tutorial, whatever you want to call this. So I just stuck them in. They say in a potato is what helps, so that you can take the oils away from a new nib. But you have a potato, so I use a sweet potato, which has been here for like a little bit of time. It's like almost back to life again. So it's time to take them off. I just gotta. It's kind of hard to do it with one hand. One and two. I just gotta rinse them, wipe them out, and we should be good for what we're gonna do with them later today. Alright, so today we're gonna do is we're gonna focus on this little contraption right here. It's a col-o-ring ink testing book. There's a bunch of videos everywhere, but this is gonna be like my little version. So what I'm doing, I'm color swatching most of my inks for this video, and I'm also going to be using this one right here. This is a Goulet notebook from Goulet pens. You can find it there. I got this one is the dot grid because it's easy to make sections on it, and I'm gonna be doing the swatches as I use ink in my pens, in my different pens. I'm gonna keep it here. It's made out of Tomoe River, which is actually pretty good for fountain pens, so this is really good for what we're doing. Now this one, I'm gonna do the color swatches on this one so that I can put them by families of colors and families of brands, I guess, of the color inks that I have. So I guess let's get started. So earlier today I had put these ones on a sweet potato to take most of the oil out of the nibs, and this is what I'm gonna use to be doing the color swatches. It'll make sense as we go along. I have paper so I can wipe the nibs. I'm using these ones and not my actual fountain pens because these would be easier to clean and it would be easier to switch from one ink to another without making too much of a fuss about cleaning the whole pen, getting that thing into the feed, all that stuff. So I figured this would be a better solution for it. The thing with this kind of nibs though, when you first buy them, they're still covered in oil so that they don't rust. So you just have to take it off. Some people use a lighter. I'd rather not, because then you mess with the tamper. If you know about metals, once you put something in heat, it actually like softens it up, and then when you quench it in oil, it just like gets hard. So these are pre-hardened, and if you hold a flame to the tip of these nibs, what happens is you soften the nibs, and when you go and do something, let me see if I can, when you go something like that, then the nib won't open like that and be resilient to go back, and the tip will like lose its shape over time faster than it would otherwise, because they're already tempered. So I don't want to temper with that. So all right, so I have a holder which I left somewhere around, and that's where we're gonna put in these nibs, and we're gonna do our color swatches. All right, so just to recap a little bit, I'm using a C1 speedball, and I believe this is a Hunter. Whoops, where'd it go? Yep, it's a Hunt Imperial, you know, and by that little cross thing right there on the reservoir, and they pretty much go right in here. I'll put this one right in here. Come on. There we go. Carefully so I don't bend it. All right. So now that we have this one fairly secure, we're gonna dip it in one of our inks. So this is the col-o-ring. It's made with really thick paper actually, which is pretty good so that you can do swatches and stuff like that. Most people use cotton swabs and stuff like that, but I really don't want to do that because it just takes too much of the ink, and I don't really have a lot of ink to begin with, especially because I got mainly like small little vial samples. They're 2 milliliters and I'd rather not finish them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with my actual inks that I got. I have a Iroshizuku, I believe this is Morning Glory Blue. That's the name, Tsuyu-kusa. And so what we have here is actually, it's almost like a blue jeans kind of blue when you actually put it into paper. Well, we'll see that. So I love the bottles. They're like really nice. They have this little divot right here so that you can dip your pen all the way into the last piece of ink or bits of it. And the other actual full bottle that I have is this one right here, the Yu-yake, which is by Iroshizuku as well, and it's pretty much a maple tree, I believe. It's beautiful. I love this one. As you can tell, I've been using it a lot. I'm almost by the tip of it, by the end, but I think I might just give me another bottle of this. Anyway, so let's start this. So I gotta open this. Let me get, I just need like one out. All right, this is the first one that I actually got out of all my fountain pens. This was the first ink I ever got, so it's gonna be so nice. And I don't worry too much about getting it in my fingers because it's like water based. Well, that's my clock right now going off. All right. This is beautiful ink. Start. Oh God. The diary has music. It's so nice. Well, this is the first time I use this nib. It's really interesting. And I'm failing at it too. Let's see. Just want to make a big square. There we go. Now it's working. Let's fix that right here. There we go. Now I'll clean up this nib. Take it off from here. Oh my God. There we go. Set it aside, and I'll use the hunts, and I'll write with that a little sample. Oh my God, I can't seem to hold it. There we go. All right, so same thing with this. Hopefully this can write. There we go. I probably shouldn't be touching this. So let's see. Okay. All right. Alright, so this is the Hiro. Ooh, she. Zo. God, I'm not used to writing with this kind of nibs. Alright, let me just scrap that idea with the Hunt's nib. It didn't really seem to take. I had a lot of issues with it. It's still drying. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm trying it with. This is also it comes with a whole set with all these nibs, and this came with it. It's a speedball as well. It's like they came together, so this I can manage a little bit more. I'm not that avid with the other one, so let me just try this one more time. So here we go. All right, so let's do this swatch, really wet swatch. There we go. It's working now. Beautiful. I love that color. I've seen people do it with an automatic pen, but I couldn't get my hands on one of them, so this C1 is actually doing a really good job. Right, so with this little one, I'm gonna write the name. All right, so this is Iroshizuku Yu Yu-yake, and it's a really nice shade in ink, and you really can tell on this one. It definitely is different writing with this than with a fountain pen. It's not as smooth, it's very scratchy, but it makes beautiful lines, and that's what we needed here. And the reason why people do this is so that you can see the line variation between like very thin and very thick, and it usually would show like the shading of the ink. And I'll let this one dry and move on to the next one. All right, before I move on to the next one, I forgot almost. I do have this one, and this is what I'm gonna do with this. So about, this is a really flexy ruler, by the way. So about 2 squares, I don't know if you can tell, two of the little dots things, 1 and 2, and perhaps I'll just do it that way. Yeah, there we go. I'm really just gonna make a line. The good thing is that it's easy to make a line on this one because you know where the little dots lie, and you can definitely make a line. All right, so now what I'm gonna do here is literally the same thing but in Tomo Reaper paper, and this is how I have obtained my inks. First it was the Yu-yake, and then the next one was the blue one, and so on and so forth. One thing I forgot to do is this, just to see how it behaves in fine lines. Alright, so next we have the from Iroshizuku Yu-kusa, which according to the box, it's blue Asiatic day flower. Honestly, I feel like it's just morning glory. I think that's what I meant to say. Maybe wrong, but all right. I think they're just overcomplicating things. The ink, to me, reminds me of denim. You'll see why. All right, so this literally I just like did a little quick rinse in water and just like blur it out with paper, and it's good to go for the next one. All right, so hopefully I don't have as much trouble with this one as I did with the other one. All right, so big wet nib. Oof, this is nice. The way you just lies here. Let me rest. Oh, this is Mr. Kitty, which holds snips. This is actually made for it's made out of glass, and it was made to hold chopsticks. Same idea. All right, so let's write the name of this ink is by Iroshizuku, and forgive my really bad handwriting, but it's definitely different writing with one of these nibs. So you kusa. In reality, when you write on a fine nib, it kind of looks more like this, which you really see it. I'm not sure how it would look on a monitor or not, but it looks so much more different. Like denim, more like that side. This is because these nibs put way too much ink, which is why they're perfect for this. All right, so let's do it on the next one. In color. Again, wipe it out a little bit, get the excess. Make sure not to deform the nib, so I'm not really pressing the heck out of the nib, I'm just like clearing around. And switch a nib, and let's write that out. I could have used a glass pen, but in my opinion, it doesn't give you that line variation that I'm looking for when I'm writing. It's monolinear instead of all this. All right, so this is Iroshizuku Tsuyu-kusa. Oof, see the light variation? This is how it really looks. It doesn't really look that dark, it's just the depends, or maybe I just don't know how to use them. I mean, obviously I don't know how to use them, but they tend to put so much ink. Railroading. Went too fast and too hard. I think it gives me a good idea of what it will write like on a wet and on a very dry nib. Which is the whole point of this to begin with, so that you know exactly what you have, how it will write, and on what pen it will write like that. Oh, well, this was a really long video, sorry, and thank you for sticking with me all this time. Oh, one thing before I let you go is this. The one thing about this inks is not just the bottle, but the box itself is like really nifty. It goes this way, and this holds the thing all together so that you know it doesn't move at all. Well, it does, but not like, it doesn't rattle that much, and it has like kind of the color of the ink like it should be. Let's see, it's still drying a little bit, but there's kind of some purple sheening to it. I'm not sure if you can see, but yet again it is still drying. Well, thank you for watching. Bye.